Hey, what's up guys? I'm at the trailer park. I'm getting ready to tune my QAVR that I rebuilt last night. I broke a top plate on it and put new motors on it and things like that. But I already know what the tune is on this quad, but I'm gonna put this at a standard, like a neutral tune. I'm gonna fly it and explain to you guys what I'm noticing and what I'm changing. This is not a video on what a PID controller is and what the math is. This is what I'm noticing that my quad is doing and what I'm expecting it to do. So just know that your P gains are the most important value that you can get accurate. You want to get that as accurate as possible. So your I's and D's, you don't care about those right now. Lower those down to like, not nothing. You still want I's and D's going on, but you don't, just bring them down low. We're only focusing on P. You're gonna notice this thing is sloppy when you fly around. I'm gonna give you some values. This should be really low even in KISS, beta flight or race flight. I'm tuning in race flight today, but it doesn't matter. Put your roll P at 3, okay? Put your pitch P at 4 or 5. Put your yaw P at like 6 or 7, right? These are fairly low values. This is probably half of what I normally run, just about. So, and it should be fairly low in all, you know, the process is gonna be the same no matter what flight control you're running. I'm running race flight. The tuning process will be the same in beta flight or KISS. So the biggest thing is focus on one axis. We're only gonna focus on roll right now. Make sure you have your expo how you normally have it, your rates are how you normally have it. And we're gonna take it off and we're only gonna do roll commands. That's it. You're not gonna do anything else. You're not gonna fly around and do crazy acro. Fly it in a straight line and give it roll commands, okay? You're gonna notice if your roll P is too low, you're gonna notice it's gonna go like this. It's gonna feel crappy, it's gonna feel really sloppy. So, and that we want that. That's an expected behavior. You're gonna bring that back, land it, plug it back up to your laptop, your tablet, your phone, or however you tune, and raise the roll P now. So we know it needs to go up because it's floppy, it's sloppy. Sloppy means it needs to go up. Only focus on the roll axis. Focus on one axis at a time. The roll axis is the most important right now. So we're gonna do the roll. We're gonna only do roll commands. I mean, if you wanna do actual, you know, flips like rolls, then do it. I usually just kind of jerk it back and forth like this to feel it. So here we go. All right, so I took it up and you might have noticed it was sloppy. Didn't feel great. It wasn't bad. I mean, like you said, like you saw, it was flyable, but it definitely doesn't feel good. It just kind of feels like it's sluggish and slow and crappy. So it's, or jiggly, whatever you want to call it. So now all I'm gonna do is adjust my P. I'm gonna go from 3 to 4, and it'll probably like how it feels around there. So let's try that, all right? So I hope you guys are getting excited. You can kind of see the results. Like that actually flew pretty decent, considering my yaw and my P gains are not even, I haven't even started. So that is at my roll at 4. In fact, I almost feel like it could go up just a tad more. So let's try like 4.2, okay, and see how that feels. So this is really exciting. I actually love tuning. You guys will hopefully learn to love it too. But you can see, you know, it's starting to already kind of come together a little bit, right? Like, I feel like I could go up a little bit more, but I'm gonna stay there, right? I'm gonna stay, like, we don't need to get it perfect right off. We just wanna get it to where it feels good enough to move on to the other axes. We're only focusing on the roll. We expect weird behavior on the yaw and pitch right now because it's just not tuned. So now, we are gonna go onto the pitch. We're only gonna do pitch maneuvers. So here we go, let's see how that looks. Okay, so you can see it's just you know, it's not bad. You know, some of you guys might think it wasn't really that bad at all, but it's sloppy. It's not responsive. So we're at 5 on the pitch. I'm gonna try cranking it up to 6 on the pitch and see how that feels. Actually, no, I'm gonna go to 6. 6.5. It needs to go up quite a bit. So let's go to 6.5 and see how that feels. That's all I'm gonna do. Right now we're at 5 on the pitch P. We're gonna go to 6.5 on the pitch P and see how that feels. Okay, so that felt a lot better. I still feel like it needs to go up. There's still a little bit of a bounce back. You guys should be able to notice it. I'm noticing it on the goggles. You should definitely notice it on the GoPro later. And there's still a bit of bounce back. So I'm gonna go up to like 7. We're gonna go to 7 on the pit. I think I'm gonna be happy with that, where that's at, and then we can start playing with the yaw. Okay, so that was our pitch P at 7, I believe. Hang on, make sure I'm not getting mixed up here. That was our pitch P at 7. It felt pretty good, you saw when there was like an abrupt stop, you could kind of see a little bit of a hop. Now at this point in time, you could move on and probably iron that out with some D. But like I said, we want our Ds to be as low as possible. At least I think I said that in my little intro. But you want your Ds to be as low as possible, because what Ds are doing they're basically, it's an error correction system. So the less correcting you have, the less your quad has to do and can focus on ripping. So in theory, the higher your Ds are, the more you're gonna be overworking your quad to correct your tune, and you don't want that. You're gonna be losing power, you're gonna be losing flight time, your motors are gonna get hot, you're gonna kill equipment prematurely. So we don't want that. You want your Ps to be as close as possible. So I'm gonna play with my pitch P a bit more here. I'm on battery number 2. So this is not that not that hard. So let's go up with pitch P. It still feels like it needs to be tighter on aggressive maneuvers. So let's try. We're at 7. Let's try 7.5. Let's see how that feels. It's a beautiful day out here. I hope you guys are appreciating that I could be flying for real right now, but I'm taking this time to explain to you guys my secrets, my Harry Potter witchcraft. It's really not that hard. It's all logical. I mean, you guys will get it down. If you can't get it down right away, don't get frustrated. It will come, I promise. I got frustrated with this for like a year. I'm just now finally getting a grasp on it. So I usually just played around with numbers until it kind of felt good. All right, so that felt pretty good. You guys might have noticed from the footage. So I'm gonna keep the pitch where it's at. So we got our roll, fairly good. We got our pitch fairly good. So now we're gonna move on to our yaw. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go up and just kind of yaw it back and forth. You guys might feel you might see it kind of see it being really sloppy. It should be too low. We'll realize that in a minute. Okay, so I need to take time to explain this. So you guys might have noticed it wasn't really doing anything weird. It actually did feel okay. It looked okay. It didn't feel okay. This is more of the feel. It felt like laggy and slow. So even though it was doing a yaw like we anticipated and it wasn't doing anything weird, it was slow to respond on the yaw axis, and that is usually a sign of P's being too low. So I'm gonna raise my yaw P from 7 to 8. So this is the hardest part to, sometimes it's a feel thing versus even something that you're seeing. So you're not gonna see what I'm experiencing, but just know I'm explaining to you that it just feels sluggish. It feels slow, like it's almost like I'm on PPM, like it's a delayed response. So we're gonna go up to 8, and hopefully it'll feel a bit, you know, more responsive. So here we go. Okay, so that was, again, more of a feel thing. It probably looked the same to you, but it felt better on the yaw. It just felt more responsive, like it was moving with my finger as opposed to like a little bit behind my finger. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So we went from 7 on the yaw P to 8 on the yaw P, and we're gonna stay there. So our current PIDs are 4.2 on the roll P, 7.5 on the pitch P, and we're at 8 on the yaw P. So that's where we're currently at. So now I'm gonna start playing with the Ds. There needs to be some corrections going on because my tune is not perfect. It's not right where I want it to be. So I'm gonna start playing with my Ds, and we'll start with the roll D. So this is what, right now my roll D is at 0.05, which is pretty low for race flight. I'm actually gonna try to crank it to 0.1. So we're gonna double the roll D right now. So we're going from 0.05 to 0.1. So, or 0.050 to 0.100, however you want to look at it in terms of the decimal. Okay, so the roll feels really tight. Okay, that feels really good. It feels like it's stopping on the dime. We're gonna leave the roll D there. You guys might need to play with yours a little bit more, but keep in mind this is just to correct the small amount of error that you're having in your P gains. So my roll P is not perfect. It could really need to be at 4.234 or something to get it exactly where it needs to be. But that's what D comes into play, is to fix that little margin of error. So, like I said, we're not focusing on a perfect tune today. We're just trying to get it to fly pretty good so we can make some sweet footage. And that's what it comes down to for all of you guys. So just don't get discouraged if you're flying around and you're just like, man, it doesn't really fly like I want it to yet. Only focus on that roll. That's all we're playing with, is a roll D. It's a process of getting it. It's a process of elimination. You're trying to get it closer and closer and closer to the right tune. Only focus on the roll. That's all we're focusing on. I was doing rolls. Feel how tight they are at the end of the maneuver. Feel how responsive it is, you know what I mean? If it feels good, now we're gonna move on to pitch D. I know I need to go with my pitch D as well. Okay, we're getting really close to a good tune here. All right, so we're gonna raise our pitch P, our pitch D derivative. We're gonna raise our pitch D from 0.05 to 0.1 as well. We're gonna put them around the same. So we're gonna double that value as well and see how it flies. Focus purely on pitch maneuvers at this point. So the concept of drift is what we're running into right now, and that's that whole kind of like where it doesn't really settle very well when you're going into like an inverted and it kind of moves around on its own. That is where the eye comes into play, and a lot of you won't really even care at this point. Some of you might, you know, it might be annoying to you guys. So I don't really want to go on each axis at this point because it's hard to point out what exactly I'm seeing, but just kind of know that, hang on, I just cleared my black box. So here's a quad. You might notice that when like eyes are gonna come into play the most when you're at min throttle. So know that when you cut back on your throttle and you're doing an acro maneuver, let's say we do a 2-point backflip, you go boom, let off the throttle, it might kind of do this on its own, and that's a roll eye problem. You're gonna need to go up with your roll eye. So, and then of course if it does it like this, or if it's doing it like this, you need to go with all of them. So it's really just kind of a process of elimination at that point. I'm gonna let you guys kind of figure out the eye, because eye is more of a feel thing. Like, you guys may not have even noticed anything on the GoPro. I won't even know until I get home tonight and check it out. But just know that you got to play with the eyes to get rid of that subtle drift or subtle kind of movement on its own that it's doing. I actually still like it. It flies fine, but some of you guys might hate it. So I know that my eyes are too low because I purposely set them too low, so I actually crank them all up. So we're going to eye 1.4 on eye roll and pitch, and 1.5 on yaw eye. Usually the yaw eye is a little bit higher. So you may not use those values. I'm just letting you know. Like, I was at 1.1 and I'm raising it to 1.4, so I'm kind of going up like 20% or something, 30%. So let's fly that. I don't know if you guys are going to be mad at me because I didn't go over, because it's more of a feel thing. It's really hard to explain that. Some of you guys may not even notice it. You'll probably be fine with like just a neutral eye setting. So this is more of an advanced thing, but we'll go fly it. I know my eyes are too low. We're going to crank it up, and maybe you can compare the previous flight to this one. About 90% of the way there. It feels good enough for me to fly this place and have a good time, and that's what this is all about. And I want to stop and take the time to explain that this hobby is about having fun. Don't take it seriously. You will get the tuning process, I promise. It may take some of you a year. It may take some of you by maybe hopefully at the end of this video to start going down that road of learning how to tune your own stuff. And just know it's, most of it's in the pilot. Most of it's you guys. So Mr. Steele's on his way up here. So we're gonna rip this place, and I thought what cooler thing to do than to take this quadcopter that we just tuned together and just rip the hell out of this place. So that's what I'm gonna do. There's a lot of people that fly without listening to music. I don't understand it. That is a part of, man, that's like 50% of it for me. You can notice a drastic difference between my flying when I fly without music. So it's just like an extra level of inspiration, or working out, for example. If you're working out, do you ever listen to music when you work out or you run? Yeah, you do. It inspires you. It makes you want to just like kick ass, and that's what it's about. So try it. Try listening to music when you fly. I promise you will love it. So, all right, that's my 2 cents on today. And the sun is exploding, and I want to get up and rip. So, peace.